This past week has reminded me that asking for what you deserve isn't the same as being difficult. It's reminded me that even people that have it all seemingly put together also need proper rest. There's also been a reminder around the fact that confidence can grow quietly through other people who continue to believe in you when you haven't quite built up that belief in yourself. We've also had interesting career journey chats with people, reflections on why we should never stop betting on ourselves, and the fact that you just can't pour from an empty cup. We know it, but we need the reminder. I'm Ramat Tejani. This is the Weekly Unfold, my space to share the asks, the lessons, the gratitude, the thanks, the reminders, and the failures that have helped shape me as I grow through this life. Let's get into it. My ask this week was actually a series of asks. So I was hosting an event at a hotel, and when we got into the room, there were a few things that weren't quite right. One, the room was really, really warm. Two, the logo that was kind of like displaying the company was an old logo. And there was like a few different things that individually are small things and aren't the end of the world, but together can really affect the experience of not only the attendees, but also the speakers. And so I asked, could the air conditioning be changed or be sorted? Could the logo be changed? And where I needed to, I asked and asked and asked again. And someone later asked me whether I ever thought that I was like bothering the staff. And to be fair, the answer is no. Not because I didn't appreciate the hard work that the hotel staff were doing. They were actually, great. They were attentive to an extent, but ultimately I'm paying for a service. And if we're investing the money, the time, the energy to create a really great experience for our guests, then I also need the hotel to do their part and make sure that they're kind of like upholding the agreement that we made on what would be available. I think sometimes people confuse people advocating for themselves as people being difficult. They're not the same thing. You can be kind, you can be respectful, and you can still ask for what you deserve. Failure this week's forgetting one of my own rules. Whenever I have back-to-back events, I need to look after myself. And this time, I didn't. I feel like when the adrenaline kicks in and I'm just like super focused and I'm making sure that everyone else is okay, and before you know it, your body's kind of like quietly tapping you and saying, excuse me, hey, remember me? So for me, that showed up in this past week as my hay fever being so much worse. It also meant that like my immune system just wasn't up to scratch. So I just didn't have the energy to fight whatever was going to attack me. And so this weekend, I have intentionally disappeared. I've taken a step back, quite literally. I've been offline, I've been relatively uncontactable, and I've been trying to rest. I don't know if you can hear it in my voice, but it's not been cool. I'm just remembering to recognize that if I don't pause, eventually my body will actually choose pausing for me, and it won't ask permission to do so. Bet on yourself. This isn't new, but sometimes I think we need to hear the same lesson in different stages of our lives. Bet on yourself. Because no one has lived your life. No one has gone through the experiences that you have in the way that you have. No one knows what you have survived. No one knows what you've had to often quietly overcome. No one knows but you. Other people can encourage you. I call myself the Chief Encouragement Officer. I'm one of those people that will encourage you. Other people can challenge you, but at some point you have to trust yourself enough to make the decisions that only you can make. You're not guaranteed to always make the right decision, but you're the only person that has essentially lived all of the chapters of your life so far, and you're the only person who's going to live the upcoming chapters. So trust yourself and bet on yourself, please. You deserve rest too. I caught up with a really good friend this weekend. She's someone who's incredible. She's had a great career. She's someone that I genuinely look up to. And she shared recently that someone had said to her that they'd watched her career over the years and they just really want to be just like her. And her immediate thought was, I just want to rest. And that really stayed with me because I think we often admire the highlight reel of people's success, right? Without always recognizing or understanding the cost that comes with carrying that success. And sometimes the people that are actually holding everyone else are running on empty. And so I challenged her and I asked her, what is the one thing she's going to do this next week for herself? And maybe that's a question we should all ask ourselves more often. What is the one thing we're gonna do for ourselves? One of my favourite things this past week has been the conversations that I've had with different people. Conversations with peers, conversations with people that are further ahead in their career journeys, and just the variety of things that we spoke about. We spoke about art, we spoke about trusting ourselves, we spoke about problem solving, we spoke about the idea of presence and spirits. We spoke about problem solving. Did I say that? There's something about leaving these conversations where I feel like my world has just expanded. Sometimes there's things that I do know of or I've experienced, and sometimes there's things that I completely have no idea about and it's brand new, and I'm like, oh, that's how it works in that part of the world, or that's how it works in your industry, or that's what that meant. Like, I was like, wow, I love it. So yeah, I think there's something beautiful about being in the room with these people, that aren't trying to impress each other. We're ultimately just having conversations. Sometimes it's conversations over food, and we're laughing and we're joking and we're having, real insight conversations along the way. So yeah, just love it. The EMEA data center team. Oh, so this chapter of work is coming to a close, and I couldn't let this week go without acknowledging the amazing team of people that I've been working with over the last, I want to say about 5-6 months. Too many to name every single person, but the key players I'll say are Amanda, Xavier, James, Steph, Fatima, Sarah, Ahmed, Glenn, Olivier, Renaud, Andrew, Ed, and Mark. Oh, and Yoline. I can't forget Yoline. She's been my Cody. Definitely Yoline. Thank you. Thank you all so much. Not only for being like incredibly smart people, but for also trusting and embracing my creativity and my approach to things, for saying, let's give this a go, for giving me the space to experiment, and perhaps most importantly for me, for helping to rebuild my confidence that had quietly been chipped away over the last year or so, and not even knowing that you were doing that. So yeah, I just want to say a massive thank you. I have really enjoyed working with you all in this space, in this capacity. Can't wait to see some of the results of the work that we did together. There's something about recognizing that sometimes confidence doesn't return because you suddenly believe in yourself. Sometimes it might return because you're surrounded by people who never stopped believing in you, and I will be forever grateful and thankful for the people that I've just mentioned, because they didn't even know. they had no idea what they were doing is what they were doing. So yeah, big shout out to all of them. I've loved it. I get asked surprisingly often if I'm sponsored by Kai Collective. I'm not. I just genuinely love their clothes. This t-shirt, Kai Collective. These jeans, Kai Collective. When you find something that works for you, works for your body, works for your style, and really makes you feel like yourself, please lean into it. Confidence doesn't always come from changing who you are. Sometimes it comes from finding the things that most make you feel like yourself. And in this case, it's Kai Collective. I love it. I love the brand. I love all of the kind of and that's the thing. I don't even love every single piece that they put out, but there are pieces that they put out that I'm like, this is a bit of me. And when I see it, I'm going to engage in it. So yeah, a massive shout out to the Kai girlies, and for everyone that's very confused why a lot of my wardrobe is Kai Collective. It's not your wardrobe. No, but honestly, it works. It works for me, and I love it. I love it here. Looking forward to week 28 or 52. It is gonna be a little calmer. The big events are now done. The reports for one of them is done. I've got to do wrap-ups for the event I just had this past week. But generally I can kind of slow down and tie together some of the loose ends. And I think I'm also just looking forward to resting or leaning into rest a bit more, given that my body is still telling me to calm down. This past week has reminded me that recovery isn't a reward, so I need to chill. So yeah, that's what I'm doing this week. As always, thank you for watching. Subscribe, tell a friend, and stay out of trouble. Unless it's good trouble, in which case, go wild. I will see you soon. Deuces.